you talking about the differences with the storm snake and smoke, there was one particular quote in here, Richie, that said, "Storms aren't punishments or proof we're off track. They're just life happening." And I think the two things here, or the one big thing here, is that the recognizing what it is so important because, again, it gives you the guide on how to respond to something. Yeah. Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. God is definitely the control of the storm. Sometimes he'll use storms to wipe you out, and not to take you out, but wipe meaning maybe wipe is kind of a word for take out. But what I believe God wants to do with a storm is shake your foundation. And what happens when there's a shaking, I know this in construction, if you have a solid foundation and there's an earthquake, you hoping everything built on top of that foundation stands. So when God has storms, he's typically trying to shake your whole being to see what stands, because when that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with things. I mean, it's challenging, it's hard, it sucks, but now you get to see what didn't work, what you got to work to fix on, what fell off, why did it fall off. So when businesses get shooken, and you look at what's actually standing after the storm passes is what you got to reevaluate to work on, what landed. If you don't have the right foundation, that's where a wipeout can come. And that's sometimes where I don't think God is God. I can never limit him if he wants to punish out of a storm. But I think our approach as believers is to know that he's in control mostly.
Is there a recent storm that you can think of, maybe in the last, I don't know, few months or something recent that you can kind of paint a picture for some listeners, whether it's a big storm or small storm or,
I mean, the permit is probably one of the most current alive storms as a business owner that we're in. And we're tackling, so we're in probably an F5 tornado.
The category.
I think that's a category. I think it's EF. I think they changed that categorization of tornadoes now. But we're in a big tornado right now as we speak, and how I'm operating is exactly how I'm supposed to approach a tornado. Go look for shelter and survive. So there's more spiritually on how to handle that, but there was keys and components that we'll talk about that basically helped us understand what was coming and what type of storm and being ready for it. But current live storm right now is the islands is already challenging to get products here. Inflation has rose incredibly post-COVID, right? With land and market of real estate and interest rates, inflation. Lack of inventory, all these things take a strong play on our market. And so what that means is we used to get a lot of calls we would get calls every day, all day. And I'd have a full-time person just answering the phone, man. It was just like it was awesome. God was blessing. But if interest rates are really high, it's not a season to go buy, it's not a season to refinance. So that just eliminates two different markets for us. Then people aren't remodeling. They're not extending. Right. They're not doing these things. And then inventory is really low. So, it's a little island. It's kind of already all built out. So if you're not renovating or remodeling, you're not building. And then that kind of lacks, the reach for market. And then on top of that, you have a luxury market, which we strategically placed ourselves. And with people who don't refinance and have the funds and just buy land, you're still dealing with lack of inventory, inflation on product since COVID. And you have the Department of Permitting basically taking 2 years to get their plans through, and they're having their own struggles in storm, or maybe it's smoke, but they're having their own. We're having a storm because of it, because just everyone's just not renovating, remodeling, or building because of all these different factors. So currently going through that storm